Hello everyone, I'm Evan, and we're here today to look at this. This is the SPG 1000 AP. It's basically just a humongous cannon. And as you can see when I fire it, it really moves the whole vessel. It moves the hull of this tank quite substantially. It's got over, I think it's 150 guns inside, which makes it extremely potent if it actually hits anything. But this weapon and the platform it's on has a history. And that history begins quite a bit before when I had made this. So it actually started with this. This is the cargo aircraft I made, the Bumblecrow. It's from a movie called Nasica of the Valley of the Wind, which is based on a Japanese comic of the same name. This has got a full interior and is mostly designed for troop and tank transport. These doors would open up. They don't open up on this version just because this is a more performance-friendly version. But yeah, so this massive, enormous airplane houses tanks inside. And so I needed a tank to put into it, which looked like the tanks from the movie. So we came to this. This is just a little Tolmekian tank, which is the faction that has the Bumblecrow. So it's pretty small. It's like you can see I'm in there and the breach is like right up in my face. I'm, you know, like 1.5 bobs tall, which is not very large for a armored vehicle. It holds up to RPG fire relatively well, especially in the front area. So like for instance, we still have a main gun, even after repeated hits. But overall, it could be more durable, especially against other tanks. So that's where we come to this. This is a sort of beefed up version. Oh gosh, why is that spinning? There we go. So this is a beefed up version of that. It's not even on the same wheelbase, really. Okay, this needs to stop. So this is not on the same wheelbase. Really nothing about it is brought over, except for the massive amount of power in the gun. The gun is, I think, 60 high explosive guns, all jammed into one spot. The layout is almost exactly the same, though, with the side skirts here and there, because I was using references from the movie to sort of construct it. You can see the side skirts come off relatively easily. But yeah, this is quite a substantial armored vehicle. It can take more hits to the front than that previous one can. It holds up better against enemy tanks, basically. So one of the problems with the vehicle is that, of course, it no longer fits inside of the Bumblecrow. And also, the gun itself does not have any barrels, so it's quite low velocity. So that brings us to this. This is sort of a departure from what the movie presented, but it has a long anti-tank gun. Here, the top is covered up so that you can't just stand on the roof and shoot people inside. It doesn't have the machine gun anymore, and the entire thing is painted in camo rather than the standard orange-brown paint. Additionally, this has a little cupola. I say cupola, but it's more of just a rotating camera on the top, which allows you to get a good view of the tank. And if you're looking forward, allows you to see where the gun is pointing. This gun, of course, elevates and depresses with pitch controls, unlike the previous ones. And the velocity is much, much better. You can see inside here, there's also a breech, and something that's actually universal on these vehicles is the periscope here, which actually just comes right out of the roof of the tank. And that's on this one. Oh, come on now. There it is. It's on this one as well. I think I had it bound to pitch on this one. And then, of course, you can actually see it on this other one here before you even deploy it. And it is pitch again, so. Yeah, these are just sort of to help the vehicle sort of see over obstacles and to help and prevent you from being immediately destroyed. Because despite how well armored these are, they're still not the best they could be in regards to fighting other vehicles. And that sort of turned into this over time. I wanted to have a huge gun platform at some point, and I just thought, you know, I have a really good hull here, so I just cut off the superstructure. You can see right where that happened. You can see this is the front pike nose here, and then it suddenly transitions into this huge plate that just houses this enormous gun. And back here, there is further wheels to help support it as it fires so that it doesn't throw the vehicle. Because when it was just one of these, it actually would lift the vehicle up significantly rather than pushing it back when it fired, which was a really big problem. But the devastation you can create with this is quite extreme. It immediately blows away anything within the blast radius of standard high explosive guns and absolutely just annihilates enemy vehicles. And there's actually guns all the way back through this entire barrel, so the velocity on this is exceptionally high, even though it's only high explosive. When you fire the gun at an off angle, it actually will tend to throw the vehicle in that direction. So like if I aim the gun as far as I can that way, and maybe aim it down a little bit, you can see it like angles the vehicle. In multiplayer, the recoil of this gun has been known to break wheels on quite a frequent basis. Like that one just came off there on the front. But especially these back wheels. Like especially when aiming down, because the recoil, the impulse of the recoil is much worse. Because it's sort of lifting up a lot. But yeah, so this is just a very, very powerful weapon. And of course, this is a very big plane, which I will be covering in another video. But for now, we just have these tanks. Our little starter, which was one of the first tanks I built in Brick Rigs. We've got the plane that is meant to carry it. We've got the larger version, which is no longer compatible with the plane, but is much more effective on the ground. We've got the longer barreled anti-tank version. And then we've got the extremely long-range, high-power artillery piece on its hull. And that's sort of been the design lineage of this assault gun, going from small to medium tank to medium-sized tank with a very long gun to medium-sized tank hull with an enormous cannon on it that just doesn't care about any form of armor. Like, this thing shreds through pretty much everything, and though that is not a very well-armored example, it certainly does a good job of exploding, as you can see there. But yes, I will be covering that plane in the future, and for now, that'll be all, folks. Goodbye.